Welcome back to another bike ride review. And today we have a new bike in the testing slot, the Fiido C11 City Bike. This new offering from Fiido features an easy to use step-through design and some fast-moving 700 by 40C wheels. It's an affordable package designed for urban riders. So what are its downsides? At bikeride.com, we're dedicated to bringing you the good and the bad about every bike that we test. And after putting the bike through our standardized tests, its flaws and benefits are clearly displayed. As we go through the review, we're going to share all the test data we collected with you, including braking distance, acceleration, hill climbing, and the range capabilities at different assist levels. Keep watching to find out what we liked and, more importantly, disliked about the new C11 bike from Fiido. Now, if you're in a rush, try using our handy chapter timestamps in the description or on the video timeline to skip ahead to the info that you want to know. I'm going to roll the intro and get this review started. But first, if you're a fan of the channel and you like the content that we produce, you can help us to make even more videos. Just by leaving me a like, subscribing to the channel, and turning on that notification bell, you give us the capability to keep making new videos to share with all of you. Now let's go ride some bikes. So what is the Fiido bike C11? Well, Fiido is a brand focused on offering an array of affordable e-bikes for urban riders. The C11 e-bike fits into these categories nicely, coming in with a relatively low price tag under $1,000 US at the time of writing. The C11 is focused on urban riders, with slim tires mounted on 700C rims. The bike features a 40mm suspension fork, which was helpful to smooth out the ride. There's also lots of attachment points for the various accessories that Fiido sells. Some aspects of the bike are not as common, such as the reduced speed limit the bike has from the factory. It's only able to travel at 15.5 miles per hour, even in its highest assist setting, which is Boost Plus. You can unlock the bike to travel faster, which allows it to travel up to 25 miles per hour. It seems to be an odd speed limit, with most bikes having either a Class 2 option or Class 3 option from factory. The Fiido will not easily travel at 20 miles per hour specifically, forcing you to choose between the 15.5 mile per hour limit or that unlocked 25 mile per hour. The bike also has a smaller battery than we typically see, with a 48 volt 10.4 amp hour battery. So how is this going to affect the bike's range, acceleration, and its climbing ability? Let's get started with the pros and cons to learn more about the C11. Our first pro for the bike is the ease of use. The C11 is a bike which is focused on providing a comfortable riding platform for users. And the first and most obvious feature that accomplishes this is the step-through frame that we have on the bike. Now, it allows for easier mounting than bikes which have a higher standover height. This really improves the ease of use when you're carrying cargo or if you have a child seat attached to the bike, which are both situations that you don't want to lean the bike over in order to assist with mounting. The step-through frame is also pleasant without cargo, easing the strain of lifting a leg over the rear of the bike. It also ensures that fast or unintended dismounts are not going to have painful consequences. The next feature to assist with ease of use is the adjustable stem, which offers 60 degrees of angle adjustment to dial in the right riding position. The adjustable stem helps to ensure you can maintain a comfortable straight back stance on the bike. And this is another feature of the bike that many riders are going to enjoy. The straight back riding stance can be more comfortable for riders over longer commutes, and it also makes riding while wearing a larger backpack more comfortable. Our second pro for the bike is the control pad and the integrated app. The C11 uses a 2-inch full-color LCD display for control and bike information. And this is a nice little display, complete with integrated controls. The display is very compact and it's easy to see with a high contrast display that features lots of color. The integrated controls make it easy to use and also mean that the cockpit is kept pretty clean, with less space occupied by the control pad and the display. The display allows for full use of the bike, and it has a few extra features, such as the ability to unlock the top speed and to change between miles per hour and kilometers per hour with a simple double click of the buttons. The Fiido C11 also offers enhanced features and additional settings. Like with its Bluetooth connectivity, the bike can connect to your phone using the Fiido app, which provides additional control of the bike and its settings. These include some cool options, such as a bike guard, which allows you to lock and unlock the bike with your smartphone rather than with the display, so someone else can't just turn the bike on. You can also GPS track the bike and your rides, as well as control different aspects of the bike such as the lights and change its settings for top speed, display options, and more. I enjoyed the display and its controls, including the attached app. It's a nice touch whether you're tech inspired or you simply want another way to control the bike's more advanced features. Our third pro for the bike is the wheel size. Now Fiido has chosen to outfit the bike with a fairly common 700 by 40C wheel set. This reduced size from the all too common fat tires that we see on many models has a few benefits, with only a slight reduction in capability. The smaller tire width is pleasant because it increases the options for vehicle-mounted bike racks. The smaller rims and tires also reduce weight, which combined means it's going to be easier to lift and attach this bike to different vehicles such as a bus, making your multi-vehicle commute that much easier. This is an underappreciated item that you only really realize during use, like when you're trying to get your 4-inch fat tires onto a bus rack after a long ride, and it's not fitting. The smaller tire size also means you'll have an easier time finding replacement tubes. They're going to be easier to find and less expensive than the fat tire tubes. And finally, the smaller tire width and less aggressive tread benefit urban riders because it reduces drag and the amount of rotational force needed to gain momentum. This enhanced range when under motor power makes it easier to gain and maintain speed when you're out on your ride. I found the wheel set to be an enjoyable asset for riding on pavement and hard-packed dirt or gravel, which would definitely be the primary places urban riders will find themselves riding. And now we got to get started with the cons for this bike and the things that we didn't like. And our first con is the low speed that comes with this bike from factory. Now the Fiido C11 takes an interesting stance when it comes to top speed. While most bikes settle into the standard Class 2, 20 miles per hour, and Class 3, 28 mile per hour speed restrictions, Fiido bucks the trend. They use a base speed limit of 15.5 miles per hour, which is significantly slower. You can then choose to unlock the bike, which allows you to speed up to 25 miles per hour. This was a bit of a strange combo, forcing you to choose between a relatively slow speed or a much faster speed that's more likely to drain the battery quickly. I would have preferred to see a customizable speed limit, which would allow you to choose the precise speed that you want to be traveling. I found it to be a little bit frustrating having to choose between slow or fast, with a large difference in the max range available between the two. Our second con for the bike was a slightly uncomfortable seat on the unit. It may be a bit of personal preference as it really involves the saddle that's available on the bike, but personally, I didn't enjoy the Velo saddle that comes equipped. I found that it was challenging to find a good position on the saddle, and it felt like it pushed me forward on the seat. This left me feeling perched on the front of the saddle. If I moved further back on the saddle, I found that the rear elevated ridges would dig into my glutes, which caused me some discomfort over the course of our range tests. While others might find the seat comfortable, I was personally pretty glad to hop off the bike after 30 miles and would definitely consider changing that seat. And our final con for the bike is the attachment points for the front fender. Now this was a bit of a special issue for us, and during the setup of the C11, I found that an item appeared to be malfunctioning from the factory. As I was installing the front fender, I noticed that the pre-drilled holes for the bolts appeared to be completely stripped. Closer inspection showed that both of the bolt holes on either side of the front fork that are supposed to mount the front fender had been incorrectly drilled, and this meant that the front fender could not be installed on the bike. This is a bit of a tough item to correct, requiring a new fork or the retapping of the threaded holes to accommodate a larger bolt. This is probably a one-off event and something that can happen with any bike. It would definitely be covered under the warranty for the bike, but I was still frustrated, as it would be annoying that you've just received a new bike and you want to take it out for a ride, but you can't complete the setup. This probably doesn't apply to all C11s and may just be a special case. So what does it do best? The C11 fits into its role as an urban commuter well. It features an easy to mount and ride design, with nice features to fit riders and increase pedal comfort. I found the bike was easy to adjust in order to fit my body and riding style. And the bike was also pleasant to pedal and had all the features an urban rider would need, with lots of attachment points, a rear rack, included fenders, and a front and rear light. It's ready for riding right out of the box. The bike also offered an impressive range for its battery size, which is probably a side effect of that reduced speed limit. The downside of this increased range was definitely a less powerful motor and a slower overall rate of speed. Now this may not affect many urban riders, who may not frequently reach top speed in crowded urban situations. The bike is well positioned for riders who are looking for a cost-effective commuter bike, ticking lots of boxes for convenience and ease of use. I also enjoyed the additional features that Fiido packed into the bike, feeling it was comfortable to ride and easy to operate. So what are some reasons to look elsewhere? Well, the C11 is better suited for riders who are looking for ease of use and longer, low-speed range, as opposed to speed demons and torque addicts. The motor is definitely tuned for long-distance riding at a slower rate of speed, which compromises the top speed and acceleration. The bike also has a fairly thin set of tires on more traditional 700C rims. While this combo is great for riding on pavement and hard-packed urban settings, it's definitely not as stable as wider wheel sets when it comes to loose off-road conditions. If you ride lots of gravel roads or have roads and paths with lots of bumps and dips, you may find some discomfort. The wheels don't float well in loose conditions, which can make cornering less pleasant on loose gravel than a larger, more aggressive wheel set. The bike also has limited suspension with its 40mm front suspension fork and a solid frame. Combined with those thin, high-pressure tires, it can cause some jarring impacts. This results in a bike that is more tuned for urban riders. So if you find yourself needing to complete long-distance commutes at high speed, or if you want to ride off the beaten track primarily, you may need to look into other options. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the frame and geometry of the bike. Well, the frame on the C11 is well built, with an aesthetically pleasing shape. The large single down tube is well connected to the rear triangle, using a large reinforced gusset at the bottom bracket. The deep step-through ensures that you can easily mount the bike regardless of your height. The frame also features internally routed cabling, which keeps the bike looking clean and protects the various cables and wires. The bike has a good height range available for riders. This allows you to ride in a comfortable straight back position regardless as to your height, which would be more comfortable for riding with a backpack or if you have cargo on the back of the bike. Taking a look at the measurements, we have a seat tube measurement of 17.71 inches, a reach measurement of 15.66 inches, stack measurement of 26.61 inches, standover height of 22.51 inches, a virtual top tube length of 23.81 inches, minimum saddle height of 31.1 inches, and a max saddle height of 41.33 inches, with a wheelbase of 43.89 inches, which gives us a height range between 5'1" and 6'5". The C11 uses a 500-watt, 48-volt motor, which is capable of 676 watts and 55 Nm of torque at its peak output. This is a fairly standard motor size for bikes in its class, but it doesn't offer high levels of torque, which are required for fast acceleration and hill climbing. This was particularly evident in our 0 to 20 tests, as it put down a slower than average time for acceleration. The bike was also not as powerful as other recent contenders when it came to the hill climbs, which we had to complete with the bike in its unlocked mode for fairness. The bike was consistently in the middle ground for acceleration, beating out some of the worst performers we've tested, but it lacked the power and top speed needed to really dominate in any of the tests. So the bike would be a good fit for riders who are not focused on high speed and maximum torque output, offering good hill climbing and acceleration for your kind of general rider. In our small hill climb, we completed it with a total time of 2 minutes 33 seconds for 79 feet of elevation change with 22.7 miles per hour average speed. Our medium hill climb was accomplished in 2 minutes and 24 seconds over a distance of 0.65 miles with 226 feet of elevation change and an average speed of 16.2 miles per hour. Cockpit and control. The cockpit and control interface of the C11 was clean and pleasant to use. The minimal size of the display allows it to maintain lots of space on the bars. And despite its small display size, it still has lots of features. And it's very easy to see with its high contrast display and bright colors. I enjoyed using the display and I found it pretty intuitive to control. The bike also features a trigger shifter and throttle, which are both located on the right side of the bars. The cockpit is topped off with a set of lock-on rubber grips that were comfortable and secure on the bike. Now the display is simple to operate alongside the Fiido app. The display itself has 4 buttons for control while on the bike: a power mode, pedal assist, and horn button. The power button turns on and off the bike with a long press, and the bike will not shut down while it's in motion, only when the bike is stopped. The horn button is pretty self-explanatory, giving another way to interact with other users on the road or trail. The pedal assist button will cycle through the 5 levels of pedal assist with a single click. Double-clicking the button changes the display from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, and pressing and holding will reset your trip data. The mode button allows you to cycle through the 3 info displays, showing your speed and assist, trip and time, or top speed and odometer. Double pressing the mode button turns on and off the lights, and pressing and holding the mode button will turn on the rocket mode, which will unlock the bike's top speed to 25 miles per hour. The Fiido app also offers some nice connectivity. It allows you to sync with the bike, turn it on and off, activate the light, and track the bike's position as well as your rides. The app then allows you to share your rides and photos on the Fiido social network. Additional settings are also available through the app. It allows you to bind the frame serial number to your account, turn on a bike guard feature, which only allows the bike to be turned on and off with that app on your phone, and also a smart unlock, which allows you to automatically unlock the bike with a Bluetooth device that you sync to the unit. It's a nice set of features to offer some additional security when you leave the bike outside of a shop for short periods of time on your ride. You can also change a few other settings from within the app, such as turning on and off the rocket mode and even applying a PIN code to lock it. You can also change the pedal assist levels from either 3 levels to 5 levels or back, and you can alter the display units from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, as well as the cruise control feature. The C11 ships with a 10.4 amp hour or 500 watt hour battery, which is slightly smaller than other batteries we see paired with 500 watt motors. Despite this slightly smaller size, the battery was able to power the bike for a reasonable distance at max power, at least at its 15.5 mile per hour test. It was also able to complete the impressive 34-mile range test with its standard speed limit. So I was impressed with the battery's capability when using the 15.5 mile per hour speed limit. After unlocking the top speed, the battery was also a capable contender for its size, utilizing the slower acceleration and less powerful assistance to maximize the bike's range. I was also satisfied with the way the controller and the display showed the battery level, as well as how it tapered the assistance level as battery voltages were reduced. The display had a good taper, reducing faster through the top 3 battery bars and slower through the last 2. The bike also continued to offer full assistance even after hitting its low battery warning, which is displayed as an empty battery bar. The bike only started to reduce power output after you had run the meter to nothing, slowly reducing power to extend your range and limp you home at the end of your ride. We completed 2 range tests for this bike, the first at 15.5 miles per hour and the second at the unlocked top speed of 25 miles per hour. In the first test at 15.5 miles per hour, the bike managed to go an impressive 35.33 miles, including 1,417 feet of elevation gain, over a total time of 2.5 hours, with an average speed of 14.3 miles per hour. Our second test was completed at 25 miles an hour. And during this test, we managed to go a total distance of 23.4 miles, which included 873 feet of elevation gain over just over an hour. And this test was completed with an average speed maintained of 21.8 miles per hour. Next, taking a look at the charger, battery removal, and keys. The C11 is charged with a standard 54.6 volt 2 amp output charger, which can recharge the battery in about 5 to 6 hours. The charger is plugged into a charge port which is located on the battery on the upper right side. This port is protected by a rubber plug, and it's the same port used for charging whether the battery is installed on the bike or if you're charging it while it's removed. The key slot is located beside the charge port, just above the battery on the right side as well. It's easily accessible and it's simple to locate. And the process for removing the battery is also simple. Just insert and turn the key to unlock it, and the battery will pop back from the frame, allowing you to lift it out of the battery slot. Installation is just the opposite. Place the bottom of the battery into the slot, making contact with the battery terminals. Then the top slides in and clicks into its locked position. The step-through frame really allows for easy access to the battery compartment, and you're able to lift the battery up in order to remove it. So there's no risk of dropping it out of the battery port, such as when they're located on the bottom of the down tube. The C11 uses a mixed drivetrain, with a 6-speed tourney rear derailleur and a 14 to 28 tooth 6-speed freewheel, operated with a dual lever DSL D200 6-speed shifter. Now the 6-speed 14 to 28 tooth gearing was reasonable for riding up to 20 miles per hour, and it was more than sufficient for the 15.5 speed limit that comes programmed from the factory. Pushing the bike past 20 miles per hour did produce some ghost pedaling, but the large 48 tooth front chainring helped to minimize this, and I was still a little bit surprised to see a 6-speed drivetrain on this bike, with most bikes offering 7-speed gearing. But it really didn't affect the bike negatively, as I still found it had enough range to be comfortable during my range tests. Now I did find the shifting a little sloppy on the bike, and it required a bit of finesse with that shifter to make a clean shift, even despite adjustment. So it wasn't as pleasant and crisp as some of the higher priced group sets that we got into test. The hydraulic brakes on the C11 are a set of generic dual piston hydraulic brakes which are coupled to 180mm rotors. The brakes had a pleasant lever feel, and they didn't produce much noise during operation. During testing, however, they did not provide a very short stopping distance, coming in at 24.5 feet to stop from 20 miles per hour, which is a higher than average stopping distance. The stopping distance could be partially due to the bike's thinner diameter wheels, which don't feature the width and aggressive tread which is typically present on most of the fat tire e-bikes that we test. The bike has a more traditional wheel set with 700 by 40C wheels. The tires are from CST and offer a smoother tread pattern, which is more suitable for pavement with reduced roll resistance. The bike is clearly designed for riding on paved surfaces or hard-packed dirt and gravel, which are all typical riding surfaces that are found in urban environments. I found the bike's wheels to be fast-rolling and easy to accelerate on, and the refreshing size of the tires makes them easier to maneuver than some of the larger fat tires that we've seen on a lot of bikes. The smaller wheels also allowed the bike to fit into different vehicle-mounted bike racks more easily, increasing your options for transporting the bike. The bike has a quick release on the front wheel to assist with removing the wheel, and the rear has a bolted axle. The bike also comes supplied with front and rear fenders. However, we did experience a little bit of an issue during installation that didn't allow us to use the front fender during testing, finding that both attachment points were stripped from the factory and wouldn't hold the bolts. When it comes to safety features, the Fiido C11 has a front headlight as well as a rear light, which also features a braking indicator. The combined lights are integrated into the bike's wiring and they're easy to activate and use. The bike also has brake inhibitors on its brakes, which cut motor power when you're stopping. This is a standard safety item that we see on all e-bikes that we've tested. The C11 ships with an aluminum kickstand, which is located on the left side, and it's not adjustable. It is, however, a good length for the bike, and it holds it firmly when the bike is parked. When it comes to the contact points, we have a fairly nice set of items, starting with the grips, which are pleasant rubber grips that have no ergonomic flair, and they feature a lock-on style. I found them to offer good traction underhand, and they provided a confident grip on the bike with no slippage or movement. So I was definitely a fan of these athletic style grips. When it comes to the saddle, we see that the C11 has a Velo saddle, which appeared to be comfortable and sport style on first inspection. Now during use, I didn't really enjoy the seating position, finding that the saddle had a little bit of a flare on the back end which would dig into my glutes, resulting in me feeling very perched on the front of the saddle. Attempting to move back on the saddle to get a more comfortable position caused the seat to push into my legs further. So I really had trouble finding a comfortable seat on the bike, and I was a little bit uncomfortable after 30 miles. This is definitely a personal preference, so other users may or may not find the seat comfortable, and it's going to come down to how you feel and enjoy sitting. The pedals on the bike are a plastic platform pedal from Welgo, which have minimal plastic lugs for traction. I found the pedals to be a bit slippery on different shoe types, as the lugs don't provide much bite for traction. Now while these pedals should be fine for most users, I can definitely see some people wanting to swap them out for a more secure pedal, especially if you plan to ride in wet conditions. Fiido offers a few bike accessories, including bottle and phone holders, a front rack, rear rack bag, and custom pannier bags. It also has a smartwatch that syncs with the bike for control, such as unlocking and turning on and off the bike. The watch also offers additional features, such as adding your heart rate to your ride data. Fiido has done a good job creating an affordable e-bike for commuting in urban environments. The C11 has many features that increase its comfort and the ease of use for city riders, managing to accomplish this with relatively few downsides. I was happy to see that despite the low speed limit from the factory, Fiido has made it easier to unlock the bike than they have with other models. A simple button press unlocks the speed, rather than a complicated combinations of buttons or having to enter an advanced menu. They also have made the throttle and pedal assist use the same speed limit, which is better than other models like the M1 Pro, which had a throttle that could be unlocked, but it didn't allow for unlocking of the pedal assist. The key items for me were the bike's convenient features for attaching accessories, as well as easy mounting and riding, compliments of its step-through frame and adjustable handlebars. I also really enjoyed the display, which was easy to see and use with extra features and settings. I like bikes that include an app, making it easier to access the advanced settings. It also creates more opportunities for fun technology, such as bike unlocking, GPS tracking, and ride logs for your trips. The app also allows you to post pictures of your ride as well as socialize with other e-bikers who ride Fiido bikes. So while the C11 is not a perfect commuter bike, its features and components are sure to make many riders happy. Overall, I think that the C11 offers good value for its price and comfortable ride quality, with just a few downsides for more performance-minded riders. Is this bike for you? Check out the detailed specs at bikeride.com and see user and expert reviews. You can also check out other great e-bikes and see them rated to find your perfect match. Do you have a question or something you want to say? Let me know in the comments and we will start getting you some answers. And if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe so we can keep on bringing you the latest e-bike news and reviews. I'm Scott with bikeride.com. I want to say thanks for watching and I hope that you enjoy the ride.